What I hold in my hand here is the craziest value for money set of in-ear monitors on the market today. Before I get ahead of myself, stay and watch to the end of this video to find out about how you could get a set of these for free. These are the KZ ZSN Pro X in-ear monitors. Easy for me to say. Not only do these sound great, but they come in at a ridiculous price of only $24 to $28 depending on what color you get at the time of this video. And it turns out that I happen to be uniquely qualified to talk about these in-ears. I've used them on drums and bass, on acoustic guitar, electric guitar, and I've sang with them. And what all these clips have in common is I'm using this set of in-ear monitors. See, I've been gigging and playing at churches for about 15 years now. And over that period of time, I've used a bunch of different types of in-ear monitors. I've used several different pairs of universal monitors, and I've had 2 custom mold sets of in-ears made. Here is my second set of in-ear monitors. These are the ones with 6 drivers in them. See, these about 2 years ago started giving me grief. It was more and more difficult to use these to play bass, to mix drums and have the kick drum sit where I wanted it to while I was behind the kit. So I finally said enough is enough. These are going in for repair and I needed something to replace them in the meantime. I had tried a different set of KZs. It's these. These are the ones that I tried. I didn't like these as much. The biggest thing that I didn't like about these, I had a hard time keeping them in my ear because they were a little bit heavy, so like they would fall out often. They sounded great, but it was just a little too bulky and didn't actually rest in my ear very well. I was a little bit skeptical at first, but I needed something, so I went ahead and grabbed these. I ended up buying the black ones with clear cables, and then I shipped off my other in-ears. Much to my surprise, I immediately started using them and loving the way they sounded. It was so much easier for me to mix myself. I could actually hear articulate notes in the low notes when I was playing bass. I could hear the kick drum full and loud. I could hear everybody on stage when I was music directing. It was easier for me to actually pick out all of the instruments and not just feel like everybody was crammed in the same space. Everything about them sounded better. I was really curious what was going to happen when I got my $900 set of in-ears back. And it turns out these sounded better. They just outperformed in every situation. I tried using my $900 6-driver in-ears on bass, and it was hard for me to mix, and I couldn't quite get the low-end clarity that I needed. So I switched back to my KZs. Then I tried on drums, and the kick drum just didn't sit where I wanted it to, so I switched back to the KZs. And you can see where I'm going with this. Every time I tried to use my expensive in-ear monitors, they just didn't hold up. I have been using the KZ ZSN Pro X in-ear monitors for over 1.5 years now. And because of this, I can tell you with confidence that these are really well made. They sound great, they perform very well. I'm still using the same set of drivers, same set of wires even. The only reason I bought a second set is because the clear is starting to turn yellow on the cables, but work perfectly. I was going to make them my backup and buy a new set, and those would become my primary. I've used a set of KZs on different stages, at different churches, in different clubs, and everywhere I use them, they perform. They do exactly what I want them to do, and they outperform my $900 set of in-ears. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if these doubled in price tomorrow. I mean, for $24, you're getting so much. I mean, you can't even take a family of 4 to Arby's for $24. If you are gonna pick up a set of these while they're still this cheap, do me a solid and use the Amazon affiliates link down in the description. See, I make all of these videos and up to now, I've made $0. So you using that link could be the first step towards me actually recouping, at least for all the coffee I've consumed while editing these videos. If you enjoy my free content and you want to see more free content from me, this would be a great way for you to support me. A couple of questions you still might have is, what do they sound like? Well, the only thing I could think to do is compare them to something else that I had that you might already be familiar with, and that's a set of Apple AirPods and AirPod Pros. I did a comparison between those earlier today, and I can tell you that against the regular AirPods, these have significantly more low end. In fact, the regular AirPods feel like they're they're cutting a bunch of low end. The AirPods have a significant amount more mids than these. You're getting a lot of clarity in the high end and a lot of boom in the low end in comparison. So they sound a little bit scooped to my ear versus the regular AirPods. Now, against the AirPod Pros, the lows were similar. I felt like the AirPod Pros have just a touch less lows. The AirPod Pros feel a little more even in the mids and similar in the highs. So even compared to the AirPod Pros, I would say that they sounded slightly scooped. Now, before you jump to the conclusion that I probably would, that if they're sounding kind of scooped and a little bit hyped in the lows, that they wouldn't perform well on stage. Actually, I think what they're doing is cutting out some of the muddy frequencies so that you get more clarity and more power on stage, if that makes sense. I don't know what else to tell you other than I've used them and I've loved how they sound. Another question you might have is, how do they isolate against outside noise? And actually, I think they do a pretty good job. Again, the only thing I had to compare them to is a set of earplugs that I have. These, according to the website, as best I could find for information, cut around 15 dB of audio. So when I'm playing drums and I've got KZs in, I actually find that I can hear the kit still pretty well, but not so much that I'm doing damage to my ears. And in fact, if you're ever in a situation where you're playing music and your ears are ringing afterward, people, you are doing irreversible damage to the only things that God gave you both to play music with others and to enjoy music with. So regardless of where you're playing, use something to protect your ears. If you're playing and all they have is wedges, you can use a set of these, or you might be able to use something like this. This is a battery-powered headphone amp. It's got a combo jack here for XLR or 1/4 inch. Turns on here, you get volume control. I've played a couple of club shows recently where all I had was a wedge next to the drum kit. I went to the audio engineer before we got sound checked and asked if there's any way I could get a direct line instead of a wedge. And in every situation that I've asked that, they've been more than happy to just bring me a line and reduce their overall stage volume. So something like this could be a great option for you on stage as well. I'll leave a link in the description. But regardless of where you're playing, please use something to protect your ears. Okay, stepping off my soapbox, PSA is over. Another question you might have is, what does it come with? It comes with a couple different sizes of the actual, is this rubber or silicone? I don't know what that is, this material is. But a couple of different sizes of these inserts. You can find something that's going to be more comfortable. The mediums worked fine for me, so that's all I've ever used. And that's about it. It doesn't come with a case, so for my first set, I grabbed this little case here. It's called Gig Case. And it is pretty simple. It's got a little cubby in there. Nothing crazy, but it's been enough to hold on to my in-ears for the last year and a half. I went ahead with the new set. I got just a Pelican case. These are around $20. I found this one on sale on Amazon for $12. So it's really hard to beat at that price. But you're gonna need a case, something to keep them in, keep the dust out, keep them clean. And these also have the benefit of now being waterproof. Not that I plan on submerging them in water, but you never know. The last thing you might ask is there anything I would change about these? And actually, there's a couple of things that I'll mention. For the price, it's hard to have any sort of complaint, but if I did, the first thing would be that these are oddly somehow too rigid and not rigid enough. Hard to explain on camera, but they kind of have a little bit of a mind of their own with the cable, that is. In addition to that, they do not have this sleeve connecting the two wires and cinching them up to the back of your head. You wouldn't think that that's a big deal, but it does bother me. So my way around this is to take a piece of gaff tape and just wrap it around right where the two cables come together at the back of my head. All right, so now let's talk about how you can get a set of these for free. I'm starting a contest today. Every time that this video gets 500 likes, I'm going to send out a pair of these to a lucky winner. Now, before we talk about how to enter the contest, let me be really clear about one thing. I don't need your bank account number, your social security number, your phone number even. If you win this contest, all I will need is a home address that I can ship these to and your name. That's it. If anyone on YouTube claims to be me or asks for any more information than that, it's probably a scam, especially if they're asking for sensitive information or money from you. If you're a contest winner, you've just won, you don't owe me anything, I'm sending you a set of in-ears. That's it. So now, how to enter the contest. All you have to do to enter this contest is like this video and drop a comment down below. We can talk about anything. Let me know what instrument you play. You can let me know what your favorite flavor of ice cream is. It really doesn't matter what we talk about. I just want to get the conversation started. So hit the like button, drop me a comment, and when you do, you are entering this contest. When we hit 500 likes, I will select one of those comments at random, and that person will be the winner. Oh, last thing, you need to know how I'm going to announce the winner. So I'm going to do two things. One, I will make a YouTube short that announces the name of the winner. I will also reply to your comment and tell you that you are the winner and that I need more information from you. If I do that, I will do that from this page, not from any other page. So if you see someone else saying that you're a winner, but it's not from Getting Better with Dave, it's not me. Okay, that's it. So the contest has started. I hope you grab a pair of these from Amazon. If you do, please use the affiliates link, and I hope you use them to keep getting better.